What's up, guys? And Navajero here. I wanted to talk about something that I feel a lot of people don't talk about. So everybody talks about knife steel and particular steels and how they're made and what they're made of and their hardness and durability and corrosion resistance, all that good stuff. But nobody talks about the handle materials really. I feel like it is something people touch on, but they don't really go into detail. So I wanted to kind of go into detail into these four types of handle materials, and just put some information out there that I honestly didn't know myself until I started kind of looking into it, which I felt was really interesting. So I wanted to pass that on to you guys. So yeah, knife scale, handle, material, sometimes gets brushed to the side because of awesome blade steels. Obviously, that's the main focus of a knife, which I understand. But the blade handle can either make or break a knife, in my opinion. Sometimes, if the material is not well made or if the material is not comfortable, that can make or break it. Also, to do with budgets, depending on what kind of blade or what kind of knife handle material is used, that affects the price a lot. So I actually just wanted to talk about each different one. This right here is, I feel, a little bit more uncommon, but this is Rich Light. This is my Kaiser Towser S in this kind of bluish Rich Light. And I'm going to go ahead and just, read what I found out about Rich Light, which I thought was extremely interesting. So Rich Light is a composite or paper-based composite material made by the Rich Light company. So I didn't know Rich Light was an actual company name. This is, I guess, a trademarked name for Rich Light. And they actually use this also on guitar fretboards. So, the part where the strings touch the guitar and stuff, that back piece right there, that's what that material is. It's actually Rich Light. So, it's known for being durable and water resistant. And yeah, you can definitely say it is. It almost feels like, some type of G10, to be honest. So if, somebody were to hand this to me and say it's G10, I probably would believe them. But it does have a little bit of a certain type of feel, just vaguely. You can kind of make out that it has a little bit more softness than G10. Just depending on the, texturing and stuff like that. But yeah, very similar. I'd say this isn't as common. Not too many companies use it. I've only seen Kaiser use it before, but I really do like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool material. I've seen different types of patterns and designs that they use with Rich Light, and I really like it. I think Benchmade just made a new bug out with some Rich Light, some like kind of maroon or red Rich Light that looks really cool. So I really like how it looks. You can almost see, not in this one in particular, but in other ones. I have actually this one right here. It's a better example. I should have used this instead. Again, Kaiser is the only ones that are really, in my opinion, still using constantly Rich Light. This one right here, you can see a little bit more of the details there in the Rich Light. So as you can tell, it's not just one tone of color. There's a little bit of specks of other kind of colors coming through there. And again, just you can feel it. It's just a little bit softer than G10. But yeah, until you feel it, you know. But yeah, really cool material. And again, doesn't get really brought up too much, but it's interesting to know these things. So yeah, moving on to, I feel, a more popular type of knife handle scale is micarta, which is one of my absolute favorites. I love me some good micarta. And what I found out about micarta, it is a composite material made with laminating layers of fabric or paper with resin. So this is pretty much, that's why they offer sometimes different types of micarta, which you can see, either burlap, linen, or paper micarta. So it's depending on the material, I'm guessing, of how it's made with those materials, depending on, what you're gonna end up with, either paper, burlap, or linen. So yeah, it is strong, durable, and waterproof. Micarta is actually also a brand that is trademark. Micarta is kind of just the trademark name. The real name for this is phenolic. Maybe, I guess that's how you say it, phenolic. But micarta, I feel, sounds a little bit nicer, so I'll call it micarta. And it was originally made actually for electrical installation. So that's really, really interesting to think that micarta is being, would be used for other applications. Obviously, I've never thought of it, but yeah, I could see, micarta, the way it is made, it is obviously a strong material, being used for a various amount of things. And it offers you another good thing, which is grip. So it has a little bit more, fibrous materials, I guess, depending on what micarta is used, and it offers more grip, especially when wet, I've noticed, or whenever you get sweaty. You can go ahead and grip it, and it adds that little extra type of grip, and you can hear it. You can hear that. So yeah, micarta, one of my absolute favorites. I love how it ages as well. The more you use it, obviously the natural oils in your hand will darken up micarta. You can clean it off with alcohol. So, if you don't like the look of that, you can just use an alcohol wipe and wipe it off, and it comes off completely. There's different ways of cleaning micarta. You can, check that on YouTube. There's so many guys that show you about micarta and how they clean theirs, but I found that alcohol wipes clean them off pretty well. But I like the look of kind of a used micarta, and the aging of it, I think, is really attractive to me. For example, this is my what is it, CRKT Pillar 3. This is a green canvas micarta, and you can see it's darkening up here in the middle where I palm it the most, and up here up top too. Right here, you can see a little bit more of the green in between. So yeah, it's just really cool. This one too, I've been using it and darkening up right here, probably where I'm putting my thumb to flick it, as you can tell. So yeah, it just ages and gives a cool look to it. So again, one of my absolute favorites, and very interesting to find out that, obviously they use this for the guitar frets and stuff. But yeah, love this material. Next up, we have GRN or FRN, which essentially is the same exact thing. Another way of, or another description of this is Zytel, I guess, but I guess FRN, GRN is a little bit more, common. Or fiberglass or glass reinforced nylon. That is the definition of it. And this is a, well, let me tell you guys what it is. A thermoplastic material, strong, durable, and lightweight. And you can definitely feel lightweightness in this right here. It is kind of more of a plastic-based material. And because of that, it is a little bit more easy to flex. So it's not going to be as strong as, let's say, G10. G10 is technically, for the most part, stronger most of the time. So that's, something to consider about GRN or FRN handles. But the lightweightness of it and the easiness of it being injected molded, you can add a lot of cool textures like this. So this right here is a Spyderco Para 3, and obviously you can see the grip area right here, and the grip is great on this thing. So that's one benefit to FRN or GRN, is that you can add different things like that because it is injected molded and have more texturing, have more grip to your knife. So that's really cool. So it is also let me see, you can create various shapes with it. So I believe maybe a little bit easier to manufacture and make different shapes of knife handles, let's say. And an example for this is your fuel tank for your car. It is made of FRN or GRN, and honestly, there's so many things that are made from FRN and GRN that I could give you a whole list. But electronics, earbuds, different types of circuit keyboards, they offer a various amount of stuff that they use this on. So yeah, it's like I said, a little bit more flexible, but only because it is easier to mold as well. But yeah, it's still extremely strong and extremely durable. That's one thing that is well known about FRN GRN. That's why it's used on so many applications. And I really like it as the thought of a work knife in FRN. I think that's a really cool material to use, especially because of the lightweightness. You know, definitely can't feel this in your pocket. Here's another example. This is from CJRB. This is the Pyrite Light, and the lightness, of course, also coming from these FRN or GRN handles. Another one, a little bit more up there, GRN specifically that they call it, and this one's a little bit more contoured and molded. And as you can tell, these all have different types of designs on the handles, which again, I feel like you can just, you know, get a little bit more creative with FRN GRN since it's injected molded. So really cool material. Let me put this one back. So yeah, I really like FRN. I feel like FRN gets a bad rap, but I mean, Spyderco's using it, so it must be good for, you know, for their application. All right, last up, and I feel kind of like the one that people probably know the most and use the most is G10. This is my Tactis gear, Frontier. This is sporting a contoured G10 on here, and G10, you know, definitely you can get it in different types of looks. If you can tell here, this one, you can see a little bit more of the detailing in the G10, and it is contoured. This one is more your basic G10 right here, just kind of, you know, adding a little bit more of the grip like that. This one's smoother, but nonetheless, it is G10, and G10 is a high pressure fiberglass laminate, a composite material made by layering woven glass fibers soaked in epoxy resin and compressing it under heat until cured. So whatever that means, pretty much it's very strong. It's extremely strong, durable, versatile, lightweight, and it's very chemical resistant. So I believe maybe, you know, this will be a little bit more resistant to, you know, obviously, you know, water, alcohol, any type of chemical you can get on here, it'll be very resistant. So that's pretty cool. Aerospace is an example of where they have used G10. Insulation, again, printing circuit boards, and a fun fact actually that I found was that G10 was first introduced in 1980 as the first quartz watch issued to the British horses, made by CWC. And I've actually seen that watch, and that's a watch that I've always liked. I'll put a picture of it right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And yeah, very cool. So they also use it for watches. I didn't even know. I actually love watches. So yeah, G10 I feel like is the most popular and more used material, and for a reason. I mean, it is extremely strong. It is, you know, very versatile, I feel. You can obviously, you know, not mold it, but go ahead and contour it and, you know, put it into different shapes, and it is going to be very resistant. You're not going to be as grippy, let's say, with this smooth G10 as a micarta. If you decide not to add any type of like texturing and stuff, but nonetheless, it is still quite grippy. You can hear it, and it still is very strong. It's, you know, I think the most common used material in knives for a reason. And yeah, it's definitely something that, you know, I didn't really think about before. But now that I have a couple different materials of, you know, knife scales and handles and stuff, I start kind of seeing what preferences I have. I love this contour G10 that's smooth. I really like how it looks and stuff, but I love the feel of micarta and how grippy it is and how it ages. I love the lightweightness of GRN or FRN. Love the application and thought of using this at work. And then Richlite just gives you kind of a different look. It just makes it to where maybe you can have something that looks a little bit different, and I feel is an underused material that is just as good as, I say, maybe G10, and maybe it adds maybe a little bit of more grippiness like micarta. So it's kind of an in-between between G10 and micarta, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, that is some just info, I guess, and details about knife handles and scales, which I feel nobody really touches on as much. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to hear me ramble and talk about maybe some other materials like titanium and aluminum, and maybe like just stainless steel materials, carbon fiber, different ones like that, go ahead and let me know, and I'll make a video for you guys. I'll do a little bit of research. So yeah, let me know down below, what is your favorite material? Which one do you like and why? Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.